Hey, yes sir, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it this time with another G35 video, man. Hopefully the lighting isn't too bad for you guys in here. I know this Canon camera is pretty good in the low light, so hopefully it's not too bad. But for today's video, what we need to do, well, not really what we need to do, I just kind of want to get the G35 back on the road. It's summertime, the beautiful weather is here. Shout out to Pontiac, Montana. The beautiful weather's here, and well, I just want to start driving this thing. So in today's video, what I am going to do is basically get this thing back on the road. Now, there's really nothing like terribly wrong with it that would keep it from driving, but it does need a few maintenance things that I want to take care of before I actually get it out on the road. Start hitting Mexico. Shout out SoCal G for those fire lanyards. Make sure you check out the website, get yourself some fresh gear. Before today's video, what I want to do on this car is definitely get an oil change going. Now, I haven't done an oil change since I moved out here, which would have been in July of last year. Now, really, I've been driving the Pontiac, putting kilometers on this thing. As you can see, it's just kind of a work van, really. Can't do this kind of stuff in a G35. Well, I can, but I just don't want to. So this thing definitely needs an oil change. I also have an exhaust leak between the Y pipe and the mid pipe, which I want to take care of. I have the gasket for that. And the rear brake pads on this thing need to be changed. They're getting a little bit low, so I want to change those before the pads start digging into the rotors. Now, I did get a roof going. As you can see, this nice 16-foot workbench that I've been working on. This is going to be my full-time work area. You guys will probably see, you know, well, you guys will see me working in this garage if you stay subscribed, that is. So I just got my temporary workbench in here. I'm gonna hit up the little shed where I currently store all of my tools. I'm gonna grab a few things. Now, one other thing that I do want to do is touch up this rear diffuser. Now, as you guys can see, there's a little bit of rust starting to pop through the paint there. Now, I did take this thing out snow drifting once last winter, and to be honest, the metal that I use is pretty much raw, and then I just paint it with a crappy Rust-Oleum, which obviously isn't very good. So I do have some rust converter for those of you guys who bought splitters off of me in the past and they're starting to rust. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll show you guys how to take care of that. But what I got to do, like I say, get some tools, let this thing run, let that oil heat up just a little bit. We're gonna do all the maintenance stuff, and I think this thing should be ready to drive. Now, it's sunny today. I'm supposed to be hitting up a friend's cottage this weekend, but it is gonna be raining and crappy weather, so I don't know. I may or may not drive the car out there depending on what the weather's supposed to be like, but in the meantime, we are gonna get this thing ready to go. So yeah, man, let's get it. Alrighty, so the car's jacked up, both front and back. Got them on jack stands and everything. So what I think I'm probably gonna do is work from the front to the back. So I'll start out with the oil change. Next up, we'll get the exhaust gasket. Then we'll tackle the brakes, which is probably the biggest job that we have to do today. And then if we have time, we're gonna deal with that rusty diffuser and maybe give this thing a bath, but I don't think that's gonna be happening today because I just don't think we're gonna have enough time, but we'll see how everything goes. You know, working on cars, you plan on it taking this long, but it takes 3 times as long usually, so wish me luck. To be honest, even with as little kilometers that are on this thing, that oil is filthy black. Now, this oil does have a track day on it, as well as a couple well, at least one snow drift session, and every other time I took it out, I was either racing it or beating the snot out of it. So, I mean, I guess it's pretty clean, but oil after a few months starts to break down. So we're gonna change it and get this thing ready. I need to go grab a rag because spilled oil on my new floor. While I'm waiting for that to drain, I guess I'll come under here, spray these bolts up. This is the leak right here. You can see there is a gasket in the middle, but I'm pretty sure that was aftermarket. So I got an OEM gasket. Man, this thing needs, she's a little rusty down there. Needs a little bit of love. Alrighty, so oil's out. New filter is in. I'm gonna fill up with some of this Castrol GTX. I like to use either Castrol or Quaker State 530. This being synthetic is really just by chance because this stuff was on sale. Normally I don't really care what I get, but yeah. I'm gonna go ahead, pour this in here, and then we are gonna get started with that exhaust. Alrighty, first bolt is out. These are cheap ass bolts, so they rusted like a mofo. Oh man, I got a cramp in my arm. This is the gasket right here, OEM, that's the part number. I'm gonna go ahead, get this second bolt out. Oh, cramp right there, boys, right there. I'm telling you, gonna need a lift soon. Alrighty, so second bolt is out, and this is pretty much all that's left of the gasket. This poor car spent about 3 or 4 months on the gravel driveway before we got this foundation, and I parked it on here, so there's a lot of rust under there. I'm probably gonna go in there just with a wire brush and then spray some rust converter. I'll show you guys what I have for that. What do you guys think? Should I do a side exit blast pipe? Probably not. Alright, so these bolts are pretty cleaned up, got most of the rust off. Gonna go ahead, throw this back on. I might do, you know what, this looks like it has a crush section in here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip the RTV, and if it leaks, I mean, these are pretty cheap, so if it leaks, then I'll buy another one. I'll get 2 more for the other ends, and we'll go back there. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think this gasket's doing a damn thing. Just super annoying. Alright, so remember how I told you expect to do things in a certain amount of time and then they don't always work out that way? Well, I don't know if you can hear that, but I think when I was unpackaging this and I set it down on the table, you can hear a bunch of sand. So what's happening is it's pinching on either end, but then in the middle completely seeping out. So I think we're just gonna go right to the RTV and scrap that $20 OEM gasket. Alrighty, so cleaned up my RTV. Nice for all the butt hurts, because I know every time I put too much RTV and I make a mess, everyone gives me crap. So hand tighten these down, gonna let it, oh, would you look at that? That right there is a crack in the mid pipe. Yeah. So it looks like I have more issues than I thought. I'm telling you, it's always something. So it looks like the mid pipe has to come off. Luckily for me, I do have a welder, so I should be able to tack that crack up, no problem. I was hoping to take this thing up north tomorrow, but doesn't look like that's gonna be happening. I guess I'm gonna have to pull that mid pipe off right now before that RTV hardens up, and then we're just going to do the rear brakes. If I have time today, I will weld up the mid pipe. If not, I think what I'll probably do is just put that for another video. But let me show you guys the rust converter that I am going to use for the rear diffuser. Now this is kind of a brush on application. This stuff is a spray application. Now I originally bought this, but I figure this is probably going to be too messy, so I got this and I ended up using it on a few spots on the bottom, and it turned out pretty nice. Like on this side I brushed it on, and if you can see, it's pretty well black and there's some rust here, so I think that'll be good. I'll clean this up with some Windex. I'll probably end up respraying it black, but yeah, one thing after another, man. Alrighty, so mid pipe and muffler is off. You guys thinking what I'm thinking? Yup, pretty ridiculous. So what I'm gonna do is scrape off all this RTV. put the exhaust work to the side for today and start working on these brakes. But I don't know, man, maybe I'll drive it around like this for a few days. We'll see. Alrighty, so now that we got all that stuff out of the way, I am going to go ahead and start doing the rear brakes. Now really all I got to do is pad, so this is going to be nice and easy. Not really going to show you guys too much. I'm just going to get right into it because I just want this thing to get done. And then at some point today, maybe today if I have time, I want to weld up that exhaust. But we'll see. If it gets too dark too quickly, I'll just leave that for another video. But brake time. Alrighty, so first side is done. As you can see, had a little bit of meat left on her, but wanted to get them done beforehand. These things are rusty as frig. This is all surface rust because it's been parked for so long. So I'm gonna go ahead, take care of the other side, and then get on this diffuser. Alrighty, so the passenger brakes are done. Got the new pads on there. Figure we're gonna move on to the diffuser. Gonna use some of this rust converter. It's pretty cold, so I don't think I'm gonna get to painting it, respraying it today. But one thing I do wanna do is go ahead and weld up this cracked muffler or mid pipe here, but I'll probably save that for another video, probably for next week. So yeah, I guess let's get on to this diffuser. Alrighty, so I got a little cup of this stuff. Now it does say it is corrosive and not to get it on your hands, which I already have. So I just got this brush here. And I'm gonna just brush it in to basically all the areas where I'm seeing rust. And this is converter, so it only works where there is rust. So what I think I'm gonna do is after I get this all on here, not supposed to drip. After I get this all on here, what I think I'm gonna do is go over it with some Rust-Oleum and just get everything looking nice and black again. Alrighty, so I've got the first coat on. What I'm gonna do is let that completely dry. As you can see, parts of it already starting to turn black, but once it's completely dry, I'm gonna put another quick coat on there. You guys hear that? It's a little green stanced out Miata I keep seeing around my house, man. So shout outs to you. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to throw another coat on there, and then once the second coat dries, it's a little cold today. I can see my breath right now, so I probably won't repaint that. But yeah, man, we're gonna throw on that second coat and see what it looks like. Alrighty, so second coat is on there, and as you can see, it's really starting to come together. A few little bits of orange spots that you can kind of see, but I think I'm gonna do one more quick little coat. This side right here, it's starting to just flake off. I'm gonna probably plasti dip this whole thing just to make sure that it's nice and durable. I know, plasti dip, durable, right? But yeah, one more coat on here, and then I think we're probably gonna put an end to this video. I do wanna go into the smaller shop and weld up that pipe real quick, but I think I'm probably gonna save that for next week's video. And yeah, we'll see how she sounds once we get it mounted back up there. Alrighty, so just finished up with the diffuser. Now we do still have a little bit of rust visible right here. Now this stuff is orange, and it looks like it's a little bit wet still, so I'm gonna give that some time to dry. Alrighty, so I decided to let that third coat dry overnight. And as you can see, I'd say it looks like 9 times better. Like before, it was really crusty, rusty. This side's gonna need a respray anyway, so I'm gonna hit that with some Rust-Oleum, but most of the rust is converted. Got these rear tires on here, so I don't know how long this video is, so I guess I'll probably just put an end to it. So if you guys did enjoy this style of video, let me know. Now that the nicer weather is coming, actually, it was really cold last night. There's like snow all on the Minty van window and stuff. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, definitely smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, definitely do so. Just woke up. Hopefully my beard's not all messed up. But yeah, the beast is back, man. I'm excited, I'm happy. It's been a long winter not driving this thing. The Project G is fun, but I mean, it's automatic, and everyone's bringing out their nice cars now, and I want to do the same. So by the time you guys see this video, this thing will be back on the road. So with that being said, make sure I'm in the shot. I'm your boy, D Nally, aka Don Squally. We're gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace.